Section 7.4, percents and interest. So percents are special kinds of fractions, namely fractions that have a denominator of 100. That word percent comes from the Latin phrase per centum, which means per hundred. And so we translate n% to mean n over 100. So let's practice converting to percent. So I want to start with A. I've got 0.03, that's 300ths, or 3 over 100. And using our definition of percent on the last slide, that's 3%. What about 1.2? Well, that's 120 over 100, or 120%. What about 1? Well, if I wanted to write 1 as a fraction with a denominator of 100, it's 100 over 100, or 100%. Let me skip over to F here. To write 3/5 as a fraction with a denominator 100, I need to multiply top and bottom by 20. So I get 60 over 100, which is 60%. And now let's take a second and look at these. So you should recognize a pattern, and the pattern is that if I take the decimal and move it 2 places to the right, that gives me my percentage. So with 1.2, if I move that decimal 2 places to the right, I have an understood 0 here, and so that becomes 120%, for example. So let's use that to handle the remaining 3. So 2/3 I can write as a decimal 0.66666 repeating. And so my trick says I'm going to move that decimal 2 places to the right. So that's going to be 66.6 repeating percent. What about 0.3333 repeating? Well, again, my trick says move that decimal 2 places to the right, so I get 33.3 repeating percent. And finally, for D, I'm going to move this decimal 2 places to the right, and I get 0.042%. Okay. What about going the other way? So here I've started with a percent and I want to rewrite it as a decimal. So I have 5%. Well, my definition of percent says that's 5 over 100. And now we know how to write this as a decimal. It's 0.05. 100% is 100 over 100, which is 1. .3% is 6.3 over 100, which is going to be 0.063. And again, you should, let's do one more, 250 over 100 gives me 2.5. All right, so you should recognize the trick that we have here for converting from a percent to a decimal. The trick is to take that decimal place now, and instead of moving 2 places to the right like we were doing on the last slide, we're going to move it 2 places to the left. Okay, so that's what gave me the 0.05 here. Here's my decimal in 100%. If I move it 2 places to the left, I get 1.0. With 6.3, I have an understood 0 here, right? So when I move this decimal 2 places to the left, I get 1.063. With 250, 1, 2, I get 0.25. 2.5, sorry. So 2/3%, I want to first write as 0.0666 repeating percent. And now think about taking that decimal and moving it 2 places to the left. That's going to give me 0.006 repeating. And 33 1/3 I could write as 33.3 repeating percent. And again, we want to move our decimal 2 places to the left, so I get 0.33 with 3 repeating, but that's all 3s, so I can rewrite that as just 0.3 repeating. I could put a 0 in front. All right, so to convert from a percent to a decimal, you want to think about moving your decimal place 2 places to the left. To convert the other way from a decimal to a percent, you're going to think about moving your decimal place 2 places to the right. I'm going to let you try a problem and then we'll do some more examples.